Yeah, now it's live.
Live.
All right. What's up, guys? Adam Chandler here in Denver, Colorado, and I'm shooting this video, maybe a little controversial. I'm shooting this video to I see a lot of people in the home business industry. You know, my fellow freedom fighters in the industry. You know, working on creating a lifestyle business from home. I mean, that's the reason why I do this. I want to have the type of business that allows me freedom and a financial abundance and lifestyle that I'm looking for. And the lifestyle that I'm looking for is not cheap. You know, good wine is expensive, right? The lifestyle that I want does not come cheap. And I'm sure that the reason why you're here is for the same reason. And I see a lot of people in the home business world that are making the same mistakes that I was making several years ago. I've actually been in the home business profession for going on 9 years. Two months from now, it'll actually be my 9-year anniversary in online network marketing. And I used to be a real MLM proponent. You know, I wouldn't say I was an MLM junkie, but I was in an MLM company for about 3.5 years, trying to build the business online and having some success sponsoring people, but not having a lot of success building a successful business, right? Some business models really just are not designed for online marketing. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anything, there's a lot of things that I really like about the MLM model. Number one, it's a really good gateway into entrepreneurship because of the very low barrier of entry. You know, you can start a business for $300 or $500. Because of the low barrier of entry, it's a really good gateway into entrepreneurship for a lot of people. Another thing I really like about it is the residual income. You could really build a significant residual income. However, it's going to take a really long time, and usually to build a sustainable residual income, you need hundreds or sometimes even thousands of people in your organization, which is a little bit more work and responsibility than maybe your MLM company or your MLM leaders are leading you to believe, right? And so it's really good residual income, but it doesn't really work with a lot of online marketing. I'm going to share with you why, and I'm also going to share with you how to get a 300% monthly return on your ad spend. Now, I'm looking, like I said, I want a lifestyle type of business where I can drive traffic online and then go do my own thing, right? Where traffic and leads and sales are happening, without me doing a ton of stuff to maintain it. And I think that if I'm like the cog in the wheel, right? If building my business is requiring me to constantly be recruiting more people, constantly be making all the sales myself, right? Then I don't have a lifestyle business. What I really have is a sales job. And if you're willing to do that for the next 3 to 5 years and spend a ton of time prospecting strangers on social media, or having home parties and doing all the things that have all the traditional things that build lucrative MLMs, then go for it. But that's not the kind of business that I want. And I used to be a real proponent of this, thinking that, I can build an MLM business for 3 to 5 years and then just be set for the rest of my life. And I found out the hard way that was not the case, right? I was building a business for about 3.5 years, and then the company decided we're not going to be a network marketing company anymore. So all of the hard work and everything that I put into it was, basically I just stopped receiving paychecks because the company wasn't operating like an MLM. And that was just my story. I've got coaching students. I had a coaching student one time who built her MLM up to $70,000 a month in residual income, and then one of her top producers decided that they wanted to go build a different company, and she took 80% of her organization, 80% of my client's organization with her, and her income went down to about $5,000 a month, from $70,000 down to $5,000. And that's just some of the things that you're kind of setting yourself up for in an MLM type of business. But that's kind of not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here is how to use paid advertising, because like I said, I want the type of business where I could drive traffic, where I could set up some campaigns and then walk away and then have a lot of the marketing process done for me, right? If the marketing is done right, the selling process is very, very easy. And now what I want to share with you here is CPA versus AOV. So what CPA is cost per acquisition, okay? Cost per acquisition. So how much money is it going to take to acquire a new customer, right? This is, if you want to do paid advertising, this is fundamental. Cost per customer acquisition, and then average order value, right? So how much money do you make on average when you bring a new customer in? Now, in order to get a 300% monthly return on your ad spend, let's say your CPA is 100, just to be simple with this example. If it costs you $100 to acquire a new customer, and your average order value is $300, then you've essentially created a machine where you put $1 in and you get $3 out. And that's a 300% return on your investment compounded monthly. Financial planners will tell you that an 8% return is a good return in the stock market, right? An 8% annual return. That's 8% compounded annually. What we're talking about is 300% compounded monthly, right? And all you need to do is figure out a way to spend $100 to acquire a customer, and then have your average customer be worth $300. Now, with an MLM, because the profit margins are lower, because so many people need to get paid down the line, it might actually, it's almost like this would be reversed, right? So your average order value may only be 100, and it might cost you, like if your average order value is 100 and your CPA is 100, then you're essentially just breaking even. There's no, if it costs you $100 to attain a customer, and then it also costs you, and then on average that customer is only worth $100, then you're essentially just breaking even on the advertising. Now you could argue that, well, I could break even on the advertising, and then those people will go out and duplicate what I do, and then I'll make all the money off of the team duplication. And the reality is that you'll have to recruit a lot of people to find one person who's really going to run with the business. And if you're recruiting with paid ads, then your people are going to want to do that. You're not going to recruit with paid ads and then tell people to go do home parties, right? Like the reason why you could build a lucrative MLM, but you better be doing home parties or doing something that the average person can do. The average person is not going to be able to learn paid advertising and do it in an effective way, right? So this is not the most duplicatable strategy, but that's okay if you're in a business where you don't necessarily need duplication. And that's kind of what I have found works with paid advertising, is higher ticket opportunities where you can actually make on average $300 per customer that you bring in the door. Some customers may only be worth $20, others may be worth $1,000, but on average they're worth $300 over a fairly short period of time, right? So now one thing that I did, I was in a company with a very well-known person in the home business. Like if I said this person's name, I'm not going to. If I said this person's name, you would know who I'm talking about, because they're one of the biggest leaders in the entire industry. But out of respect, I'm not going to share what who this person is. I was in a company with them, an MLM, a few years ago, maybe like five years ago, and I said, like, I desperately needed to replace $5,000 a month in income, and I said to him, how many people do I need to recruit into this business in order to make $5,000 a month? And he couldn't answer that question for me. And I think that if you ask your sponsor, how many people do I need to make, like, if it's going to require $5,000 a month for you to live life the way that you need to live on as a minimum, right? Ask your sponsor, how many people do I need to bring into this business to make $5,000 a month? And if they can't answer that question, I would run in the other direction. Because the way that he kind of answered the question was, oh, you need to be thinking way bigger than that. And that was I kind of took that as like, that was his way of kind of skating around the question because he didn't know. The reality is probably 500 at least, probably more like 1,000 in that like lower tier MLM company that I was tied to him in, right? Probably more like 1,000 people that I had to have in my organization in order to make $5,000 a month. And the business that I'm in now, that if you click the link in the description of the video, you'll be able to see it, or just simply comment below with info or whatever, and we'll shoot it over to you. But basically, that is a business where you can actually, with 500 people, actually make $1 million. And you can do it in a scalable way with paid advertising. And I don't know about you, but that's the kind of business that I want to be in. Is a kind of business that has the leverage and the income potential where when I bring somebody in, I can make $1,000 commission rather than bringing somebody in and making $100 commission and hoping that they actually do something with the business for me to actually make any real money with it. Right? So that's just my perspective. If you have any questions, comments, anything, leave a comment down below. If you want to see what me and my team are up to, click the link in the description of the video or go to meetadamchandler.com/T3FP. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.